In the 1800s, they said a woman's voice should remain low, that women should stay behind the curtain of power, while men ruled kingdoms, controlled wealth, and shaped history. But in Yoruba land, there arose a woman so wealthy, so influential, so politically feared that kings listened when she spoke, and even the British watched her carefully. Her name was Madame Efunroye Tinubu, a woman who refused to become smaller than the power inside her, and history could not ignore her.
Welcome to Moonlight Tales Africa, a place where African stories come alive beneath the moonlight. Stories filled with wisdom, culture, emotion, humanity, and transformation. Here, we journey through the heart of Africa, through village paths, moonlit memories, forgotten truths, silent struggles, and the powerful lessons hidden inside ordinary lives. So, wherever you are listening from, sit close, relax, and journey with me. Sit close to the fire. The elders are about to speak.
Before we begin today's story, kindly subscribe and become part of this growing circle of African history, wisdom, culture, and moonlight tales. Sit close to the fire. The elders are about to continue their story.
Madame Efunroye Tinubu, the woman history could not silence. Long before Nigeria became Nigeria, before colonial governors tightened their grip upon Lagos, before modern banks, political offices, and skyscrapers rose across Yoruba land, there lived a woman whose influence moved like thunder through markets, palaces, and royal courts. Her name was Madame Efunroye Tinubu, and in a world ruled largely by powerful men, she became something even kings could not ignore. In the 1800s, they said a woman's voice should remain low, that women belonged behind the curtain of power, while men controlled kingdoms, wealth, and politics. But somewhere inside the restless heartbeat of old Yoruba land, a woman rose who refused to remain small. The elders say, the river that forgets its source will soon dry beneath the sun. Madame Tinubu never forgot where power truly lived,
Not merely inside palaces,
but inside influence, inside people, inside wealth, and inside strategy. She was born during one of the most turbulent periods in Yoruba history. This was not a peaceful Africa. No, kingdoms fought constantly. Trade routes shifted. Slave merchants crossed coastlines. European influence crept slowly inland like smoke beneath a closed door. The old Africa and the coming colonial Africa were colliding violently, and somewhere inside that uncertainty, a woman began building power. At first, she was a trader, but not an ordinary trader. No, Madame Tinubu possessed rare intelligence, the kind that sees opportunity while others only see confusion. Soon, her trade network stretched across Lagos and beyond. Salt, tobacco, cloth, gunpowder, palm oil, and yes, like many powerful merchants of that era, her story also carried the painful shadow of the slave trade. History is rarely clean. The past often carries both greatness and contradiction at the same time, and Madame Tinubu was no exception. But what made her truly feared was not simply wealth, it was influence. She moved among kings, negotiated political alliances, shaped decisions behind palace walls. Men listened when she spoke, and not always because they wanted to, sometimes because they had no choice. At a time when many women were expected to remain silent behind men, Madame Tinubu walked directly into the center of power, fearlessly, strategically, unapologetically. In Lagos, she became closely connected to Oba Kosoko during fierce political struggles for control of the kingdom. And politics in those days was not gentle. No, it was survival. intrigue, betrayal, negotiation, danger hidden behind smiling faces. And Madame Tinubu learned to navigate all of it like someone playing chess beneath firelight. The British soon noticed her, and that alone tells you how powerful she had become, because colonial authorities rarely feared ordinary people. But they feared individuals capable of influencing entire populations, and Madame Tinubu was one of those individuals. The British accused her of interfering with their political interests. They watched her carefully, suspiciously. Eventually, her influence in Lagos became too large to comfortably tolerate, and pressure mounted against her. But women like Madame Tinubu are rarely erased easily. No. Fire does not quietly forget how to burn. She later relocated to Abeokuta, and somehow her influence only grew stronger. In Abeokuta, she became the Iyalode, a title of immense authority among Yoruba people, not symbolic power, real power, a respected female leader, a defender of women's interests, a political force whose voice carried weight among chiefs and elders. And the people knew it. The markets themselves almost seemed to breathe her name. Traders respected her, supporters admired her, enemies feared crossing her. Because by then, Madame Tinubu had become larger than ordinary womanhood within her society. She became symbol. Yet perhaps what makes her story survive centuries later is not merely that she became rich. Many people become rich and are forgotten. No. Madame Tinubu survives in memory because she challenged the boundaries placed around women during her time. She entered spaces women were not expected to dominate. She negotiated power where society expected silence. She built influence in an age designed to limit female visibility. And history, despite all its attempts to center men, could not leave her out, of course, like many powerful figures in history. Her legacy remains complicated. Some celebrate her brilliance, others criticize her involvement in parts of the slave economy of that era. But perhaps mature storytelling requires honesty, not worship, not cancellation. Truth. Because real human beings are rarely made entirely of light. And maybe that is the deeper lesson hidden inside Madame Tinubu's story. Power reveals who people truly are. Sometimes beautifully, sometimes painfully, sometimes both at once. Even today, her name still echoes across Yoruba history, in Lagos, in Abeokuta, in market women who refuse to become invisible, in female entrepreneurs building influence against impossible odds, in women learning that leadership does not always arrive through permission. Sometimes it arrives through courage. And somewhere beneath the noise of modern Nigeria, beneath crowded streets and restless marketplaces, the spirit of Madame Efunroye Tinubu still lingers. A woman wrapped in intelligence, wealth, controversy, strength, strategy, and fire. A woman history could neither fully control nor completely forget.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share so you won't miss our future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.